And it is about that time, y'all. Coming to the state. It's like, no. Let's let this intro play out real quick, man. Y'all
Okay.
listen to the smooth tunes of Alonzo Starr, y'all. Hey, yo, funny story. When I was younger, I wanted to be I wanted to be that late night radio voice. Like I
Oh, same.
had a dream of that.
Quiet Storm coming up out of DC.
Quiet Storm was my joint back in Philly. I don't know, was it the same Quiet Storm or was
It's
it
the
like
same Quiet Storm. It was nationally syndicated. I know like each city probably had their own version, but I know there was one specifically like it. I think it was coming out of DC and it was like nationally syndicated. And
the Quiet
that's how
Storm?
you know you had a good day riding to that with the parents on the way home from, a birthday party or, family barbecue or whatever. And especially summertime shy, that is the perfect mood.
See, back when I was younger, I didn't really have a TV in my room, but I had that radio. So at nighttime, when
Uh-huh.
you just chilling, grooving, doing what you're doing, reading a comic or something, you
Yeah.
got that radio on, and once 10 o'clock hit, it's all Quiet Storm after that. You
It
know what I mean?
was.
It's Quiet
Listening to
Storm time.
listening to stuff I probably had no business listening to, but
The Quiet Storm was
to
lit.
this day I still run it back.
The Quiet Storm was lit though, because it played. Our radio used to play not just young people music. It played like
Hmm.
grown folk R&B and smooth
Yeah.
tunes. And then they had them conversations that we weren't supposed to be listening to when
That's what I'm talking about. That
call,
part. Yeah.
callers was calling in wilding a little bit.
Always a problem with something or, trying to get somebody's attention or whatever.
Relationship issues. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we need to put a quiet storm in some comic story in some kind of way.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Like I don't even know why I haven't tried it, because in this technology you can have your own radio
Hmm.
show and just be
You could.
calm.
Yeah.
I'm tripping, man. You know what I mean? I might gotta do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go ahead and get on that.
I might gotta
Yes.
get on that. I'm gonna put that on the bucket list now. Thank you. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
very welcome.
So nah, but without further ado, welcome everybody to Concrete Approved. Y'all know what this is, man. This is the greatest show on the world in the world, where we highlight the greatest people in the world, man. And this is Women History Month, so we had to bring the goats out. We had to bring the greatest of the greats out. Last couple episodes have been fire. Shout out to my girl
Yeah.
Mache. She was on last
Yes.
Tuesday. She killed it. She got a Kickstarter out right now too. So make sure y'all go support. Go blow that thing up. Everybody that got a Kickstarter, if you watching the stream, drop it in the comments,
Yeah,
please.
please drop that in the comments.
I need y'all to go out there and support the people. She actually dropped a comment. Said can't stay, but I popped in to throw my drawers on stage because I'm a Stephanie fan. Threw them
Sis,
drawers
please.
up
I
there.
appreciate it.
That's hilarious. We got Dark City Comics in the building. What's going on, Dark City Comics? Let's check over on IG, see what we looking like over there. Hold
All
on.
right, all right.
Let me see what we got. Earth Tone is in the building. What's going on, Earth Tone? Got my boy Mason, Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea Comics got a Kickstarter out as well. Nah, bro, it's dope. It's dope. So
Hey
shout out to
y'all.
everybody. So yeah, so Concrete Approved is all about highlighting the creatives in the industry and just highlighting their story. As a creator myself, a lot of interviews I go on, I notice a lot of people don't really dive into who we are,
Yeah.
and our stories, how we became. It's usually about what we're doing at the moment, what we got going on, what book is dropping, whatever is now or the future. But not often
Hmm.
do they go to our past to see why we are who we are. And that's what the show is all about. So, Steph, without further ado, let me introduce you, y'all. If y'all don't know who this is, she is top echelon in the business.
Listen,
She
don't gas it.
she does a little bit of everything. She's an editor, right? She's a writer,
Yeah.
curator,
Yeah.
host, panelist, award winner. You do it all.
Yeah.
Um, you do it all, and I'm sure there's other hidden talents there. Probably singer, poet. There's all kind of things. It's
Singer,
probably
absolutely not. But poet, probably, yeah. Singer, mm-mm.
wife,
Yeah.
mother,
Yeah.
all the above, right? So
Yeah.
you wear a lot of hats, and it's an honor to have you on the show. You were one of the most requested guests I was getting. People were like, "Yo, man, you got to get on the show.
I
Got to get on the
appreciate
show."
that.
I've had the pleasure of meeting you at a few cons on the
Yeah.
con tour, seeing you live in person, handling them customers like you handle them. Um,
Yeah.
it's doing amazing. So no, it's just blessed to have you. So how are you doing, Mrs. Williams?
I am doing very well, all things considered. Like, I feel like that's such a loaded question these days, but given everything that's going on, like I'm here, we're talking and chatting, so things are pretty all right.
Well, they gonna get better. You know why? Because
Yeah.
it's always darkest just before dawn, right?
Okay, come on, preacher man. Yes.
It is.
Amen.
It is, man. Shout out to Pastor Harvey Dent for that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Harvey, shout out, shout out to Harvey Dent for that one, man.
Now I'm
Pastor
thinking
Harvey.
of Harvey Dent having a whole congregation in church in Gotham,
When
and we
listen,
need that.
Harvey could be a pastor.
He
Let
really could.
let's not even front on that. Harvey
No.
could be in there talking about close the doors. You know what I mean?
He would, he would flip the coin first, but he
Close the
absolutely would.
doors. Close the doors. You know what I mean? No, Harvey would definitely be in there. So we got Wise Acre in the building. Wise Acre's doing amazing as well. We got some shout out, some love going on. So you know what I mean? Here we go. So without further ado, we're gonna get right into it, man. Get right into these questions. I do like that Harvey Dent as a pastor vibe though. I could really see that being like a dope little alternate reality, alternate universe
Absolutely.
Harvey. You know what I mean? That's dope. And for those creators and writers that are watching, this is how ideas spark up right here. Just random conversations, and then
All the
boom,
time.
you got an idea. You know what I'm saying? And that's the dopeness about being a creative. Everyday life sparks these ideas, sparks these creative thoughts, and we get to put it in paper and turn it into story. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, first question I got for you is, what is your origin story? Where you from? How'd you get started? And who are you?
So I am Stephanie Williams from Chicago, Illinois, more specifically South Side, and even more specifically Harvey. So Harvey World, anybody out there? Hello. Uh, yeah, I ended up going to University of Illinois Chicago because I originally wanted to be a doctor, and then I quickly found out like no. Like I love people, but like not that much. And I fell in love with the background stuff. So doing research. So graduated, became a electron microscopist and thought about going back to school to get my MD PhD. And thankfully that did not work out. Because it was never meant like that was something I was gonna do because it felt like the next safe, logical step in life.
Hmm.
But it was actually having my son that just kind of woke things up for me and made me really ask myself, like, hey, why are you playing it safe? So after having him, I've always been a creative in some way, be it thinking I was going to be on somebody's spoken word one day, writing short stories, terrorizing my Sims to make storylines, things like that. So having him just made me ask myself, like, well, why am I not doing this? Why am I not writing, especially if it's something I enjoy? So reached out to an author who I love. Her name is Maureen Smith. Shout out to Black romance writers because they're a really great community. She was really nice and just encouraging in her email reply back to me. So much so that I went out and got a new laptop because I needed one. I had like a compact that was very thick, but not in a good way. So went out and got a new laptop and started blogging, talking about my experiences in motherhood and just kind of how that related to some of the things that I enjoyed pop culture wise. So just thinking about like, Sarah Connor, Terminator, Ellen Ripley from Aliens, and just all these other moms in pop culture that, I can make some type of connection with. So that led to podcasting and did this podcast called Missy Knight's Uninformed Afro. We took a academic approach to talking about Black women characters in comics because unless especially like mainstream. If you ask somebody like, who's your favorite Black woman superhero, especially back in 2016, they probably would have answered Storm. And if you got lucky, maybe Catwoman, depending on what iteration, and maybe Vixen, but more than likely Storm. So there were a lot of characters that I want to highlight that was both indie and mainstream. So, just going through their history, which a lot of times, because they did not have their own books, reading all of this stuff and present it in a way that others could, one, be informed, and also just know like these characters exist. So, got invited to the Kennedy Arts Center in 2018. I think that was the moment where I was like, oh, okay, so somebody else is taking this as seriously as I am. And once that podcast disbanded, I had a whole bunch of research for season 3. Someone suggested that I go ahead and pitch it to an editor at Sci-Fi Wire. And next thing I knew, I was getting paid for my very first piece, which was the evolution of Dora Milaje from comics to movies, because Black Panther had came out that year, 2018. And I just started writing regularly. So I'm still working as a research scientist. Sometimes I would be like writing articles in between experiments and different things like that, which was pretty cool. And I just really got good at honing my voice. Because I was like always talking about comic characters and kind of treating them as, real people. So that was like always my approach. And eventually, I kind of got tired of talking about stuff I enjoyed. And it got to the point where I was like, well, why am I not making the things that I want to see? So ended up picking up House of X, Powers of X. Jonathan Hickman scripts were in them, and I decided to teach myself how to script comics. Parenthood Activate came out of that in 2018. Shout out to Sarah Macklin, who's the artist on that. And then, but what if though? And then eventually, Living Heroes came. Oh, okay.
I don't know what just happened. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
No clue.
No, you're good. So Living Heroes came, and that is like Living Single meets Marvel. And the Kickstarter, we launched that February 28th, I think, of 2020. So just before COVID kicked off, it ended up funding. And I think later that year, editor from Marvel reached out to me, which I was not expecting, and asked me if I wanted to write a 2-page story for Marvel Voices Legacy. And it has been history in the making since then. So that is the very condensed version of my origin story.
You have the making of a super scientist in just regular hero fiction. Your story is literally how superheroes start. You started off looking for a solution to life. You saw the problem. You saw the problem and decided, no more to that. Do you remember your first experience with comic books?
I do. So it was in the thrift store with my grandmother, because she loved her thrift store. Because you can always just find stuff in there, especially older comics. And it was Avengers 361. I forgot what made me pick it up. I think it was really more so just wanting something to thumb through while I was waiting on her. And I remember reading that, and it's like in the middle of a story arc featuring Black Knight, Cersei, and Crystal, the Inhuman, and Vision has been like reset to white mode, factory setting. And it was just like really dramatic because, they got this throuple going on. Vision is dealing with what he's dealing with wanting to like feel human again or whatever. And I just remember thinking like, wow, this is just like, the Bold and the Beautiful, Young and the Restless, but they just wearing capes and tights. And that was just something that I felt a familiarity in because if I ever stayed home from school, like my grandmother and my mom were watching soaps, and I remember watching those too. And I think that is what made me see comics differently. And just made me start to love them. And I started reading Archie and just a host of things. So that was my first encounter.
I was a big Archie fan.
Archie, yes.
Because they used to sell them in the supermarket. So when you went out with my mama, she just get them from the side of the rack, boom, put that in the cart, and it was a nice, healthy size book too.
It sure was. For
It was.
$3.99, you got you what, almost 150 pages or whatever it was.
I loved Archie. I love my man Jughat. You know what I mean? He
Yeah,
used to be eating them burgers, right? He used to be tearing them burgers up. Like
he
he was going
was.
crazy. So when's the first time you felt seen in a comic book that you were reading?
That is a good question. It wasn't until maybe much later in life, and this is from me going back and I don't know, like I really like reading Bronze Age comics just because maybe because they talk too much in them. I just really enjoy that literary aspect of it, and it was Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16, which is Monica Rambeau's appearance in that. You see this woman who is bad as she wants to be, and she gets passed over for a promotion by her boss for a multitude of reasons, none of which had to do anything with her qualifications, and she ends up still getting powers. She gets powers because this ends up happening, and it leads to her doing something else on the weekend. And because she is who she is, and she's heroic either way, she ends up stopping this madman from turning on this interdimensional machine, and she ends up getting powers. And I just love that. It was just a lesson in, you might be delayed, but like your advancement in life, your come up is not going to be denied. And I just really love that.
That's dope. I think for me, one of the first times I felt seen in just the genres that I loved was it was two basically.
Hmm.
It was it was Jim Lee and not Jim Lee, Jim Kelly in
Yeah.
Into the Dragon with Bruce
Yes.
Lee. So, I was a big Kung Fu fan. So when I saw that, I was watching all the Bruce Lee movies, but that one had a black guy in it. And I said, hold on, man. He kind of fire. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He out there with the fro, getting it in. And I was a young cat seeing that. So that was amazing. And then the other biggest moment for me was Meteor Man. Because that looked
Oh, for
like
sure.
Meteor
I
Man looked like
wore
downtown Philly. You know what I'm saying? It looked like Philadelphia to me.
yeah,
And
I
I
wore that
seen
VHS
cats that look
out.
like I seen cats that look like the Golden Lords growing up. You know what I'm saying?
You
Those
know
were
what?
real
Yes.
cats in my life. You know what I mean? Those are some real niggas in my life. So
You know what? Yes, that and also Blank Man
like that.
were two. I destroyed those VHSs. I ran those movies back so much.
In comics, I can't remember when I felt seen. I don't think I've ever really felt seen in comics until, like you said, later on, like, because, like, I love Black Panther, but that's not a culture
Hmm.
we comprehend here.
Yeah,
I felt dope for Africa, like, yo, that's fire. But
yeah, yeah,
here, you know, I was too young to know what Luke Cage like. You know what I'm saying?
hmm,
I couldn't live that life. Um, there weren't really many kids. You know what? Static was one.
yeah. Static. Yeah,
As a kid,
yeah.
Static definitely made me feel like that. You know what I'm saying? Feeling seen in that world.
Absolutely. I would even say Justice League Unlimited, seeing Vixen for the first time and getting pissed off because of the love affair between her and John Stewart and Hawk Girl. Even young me was not happy about that.
Oh, snap! Hold on, man. We got a comment in here. Hold on,
Uh-oh.
hold on. What did it say? I love Concrete Comics and Stephanie Williams. It was so nice meeting you at BIPOC. Pop. Fun
Yeah.
fact: Concrete Comics actually helped me create one of my first short comics, a Samurai Werewolf story. Hey, listen,
I
man.
love that. I wish you would have told me that when I saw you at BIPOC, but that is wonderful to know. Like, come on, small world.
That's fire, right? That's fire. What are they talking about? $50 billion fund was announced yesterday for Black creators. Hey, man, put that link in the chat, man.
Yeah, put that in the
You know what I
chat.
mean? Don't
Now,
do
will I
that.
continue to create? Who knows? But I'll take,
50 billion.
I'll take a check.
50 billion. I'm buying an island. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm all of us going over there, man. We just gonna chill.
Yes. A
But
nice little writers and creators retreat. I love that.
people showing love, man. Alonzo, what's going on? Hey, Stephanie, y'all know the vibes, man. Make
Yeah.
sure y'all click the link to Stephanie's link. I put her link tree link in the bio in the
Yeah. Thank
bio.
you.
So make sure y'all go click that. Click that in the description, man. I just shared this to a bunch of Facebook groups. So if y'all in the Facebook group, y'all seeing this, share this with another person. Just keep sharing this stream. If you on YouTube, hold on, let's see. Okay, so we got some YouTube, we got Facebook
YouTube,
in here.
okay.
Yeah, we got some. Blood Syndicate made me feel seen. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Blood Syndicate's a dope tone for sure. So why comics? Out of all the mediums,
Mm-hmm.
why comics?
Man, it is again not until I was older to just really understanding the power of comics and just how subversive they are. Very similar to animated stuff because it is, I don't know, people would consider it cartoonish. They're not really thinking that you can tell serious stories with it, or just stories in general that are impactful, because you've got pictures accompanying it. And for whatever reason, a lot of folks kind of disregard the seriousness that goes into just comic making and again, like the stories that are being told. So for me, like out of all periodicals, like comics is something that I've always just really enjoyed because you really get a snapshot of what is going on in the world at the time, especially the 90s. And we're talking about, especially we're just focusing on mainstream comics for good and bad. Like you get to see like a lot of these superheroes, the white ones did not make their way to, the hood or just neighborhoods with people that look like us until it was time to take on the crack epidemic or something crazy like that. Like once Punisher turned himself black so he can go fight crack with Luke Cage in Chicago.
Mm.
So, exactly. You're not gonna find that on Marvel Unlimited, but if you want that, I can send it to you. Shout out to BJ. At Comics Are Dope for getting me those issues. But yeah, like I think comics are just a incredibly powerful medium that hopefully people begin to take more seriously than they currently do. Just the craft of it all, and I don't like, why not comics?
Mm. If there was any other medium, what would it be?
Well, I think for me it would probably be animation. Just because of like the limitations aren't really there. There's just so much that you can do, just image wise, and just really get creative and not have to deal with the constraints of, very real people and very real sets and all of these things. I think of Scavenger's Reign, which
Mhm.
I absolutely loved. And I just thought that was just such a well done adult animation show. So if not comics, then it probably would be animation.
No, that's dope. One of my favorite animations was that one came out. I think this was in the '90s. What was it called, like Earth AE or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Earth AE was fire, and it wasn't.
Yes.
And it's funny you say, like, a lot of people don't understand that comics are like for all mediums, but really for adults, because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of parents took their kids to see Earth AE, and that was not for kids.
Yes.
That
No,
was
it
not for
was it
kids
was
at
not. I
all.
think my
But
dad
it,
was one of them, and he was like, "We don't tell your mama I took you to see this." So
Earth AE
it
was fire. I gotta watch that again. I haven't watched it since I was young, but
yeah,
it'll probably hit so much different for me right now because I'll probably really be locked
absolutely.
in. You know,
I mean, I even think of Prince of Egypt. Like
Prince of
one,
Egypt.
just a beautifully done animated film, but even in its storytelling and all of that, like it's just, I think of that, Iron Giant. Just recently watched that. My son picked it for family movie night because he hadn't seen it, and he was like, "This was kind of sad a little bit, wasn't it?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's a
Oh
lot of a
yeah,
lot of movies we watched growing up. There was a bit of a message there, and supposed to hit you in your feels. So yeah,
yeah. It's funny. I was talking about this on the last show, man. Fern Gully, Fern Gully, one of them ones.
yes, that I
Fern
recently
Gully,
showed
one
him
of them.
that last year. Yeah,
I
and
haven't,
they
I
still
haven't put
tearing
my
the
kids
forest
on.
down.
See, I haven't put my kids on that one yet, man. I don't even know like where to watch it at. I
Tubi.
don't know if it's on. It's on Tubi.
Tubi has Tubi has been my go-to one because you could just find a lot of indie movies there that you probably wouldn't see anywhere else that I love. So that, but you can find a lot of hidden gems on Tubi.
That's fire. Every time y'all thinking about some new material, look into Akawana Wumi. That's perfect. Stephanie Alonso. Every time y'all thinking about animation, check out all the African media's leaders summits. I will
All
do.
right.
They are killing
Yeah.
it over there in Africa. I'm not gonna lie. Like I love
Yeah. Yeah.
Comics Republic is one of my favorites. I love Comics
Yes.
Republic. They're just super dope. Super dope.
I
And
think of Zebra Comics is another one too.
Zebra Comics is fire. I saw their collab with DC. Right? They did
Hmm.
like a Joker type joint.
Yeah,
That's
Joker Around the World, which I just recently learned about and checked it out, and I was like, well, this is even like a cherry on top of what they've already been doing. So yeah, that's
well,
really
you
dope.
Well, you tell them I got a Harvey Dent pasta story, all right? you tell
Let-
you tell them that I got that in the
I will
cut.
let them know.
You know what I'm saying? And I got Penguin as a bus driver. You know what I mean? Fire. But no, that's super dope. Um, I'm asking one more question on top of this one. What is a
Yeah.
medium that you admire but you are completely intimidated to to dive into?
Oh, filmmaking. Just the director part of it because sure, like when you're scripting things, especially, scripting comics, you are essentially kind of putting on your director hat in a way when giving this information to your artist. But I just find it completely fascinating how directors are able to just like really execute their vision, get the best out of the actors, make the most out of the script, and then, put it all together. I know there's a team of people, but for the movies that we really enjoy and also like the directors that really have like when you see their film you know it's them because their vision is so clear, like a Ryan Coogler, Jordan Peele, even the Wayans family. I love them down. Who else? Hollywood Shuffle. Why am I blanking on my man's name? He also did Babs, but like I think of these directors and just the fact like he was a Meteor Man. He was Meteor Man. So I just think about them and like their vision and the way that they're just able to bring that to life. That is something that I am complete admiration of, but also that is not for me.
Yeah, film is one of the ones where you don't get too many mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like
Yeah,
if
it's
one,
too
you know,
costly.
you don't get no mistakes, and you want them people's dollar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not playing. They're not playing with that dollar. So yeah, no, I can definitely agree with that because all the other mediums like music and comics, we kind of, you know, there's so many barriers to before you completely ruin everything. There's so many stages
Right.
that like you can stop at. Somebody can be like, "Hey, bro, we got to start over." But in
Right.
film, you done 3 months in, and then they like, "What is this? What is this?" You know what I'm saying?
Project canceled.
Project canceled. You ain't getting no more jobs, no callbacks. Actors ain't getting
Right.
no jobs. No, like so many careers get ruined from that bad movie,
Yes.
and that's scary. That's scary that damn. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
scary. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So let me ask you this: since you out here with the hella pen work, right?
Yeah.
What makes you different as a writer?
Ooh. Um I don't that's a really great question. And I mean, I guess my I don't have a fear when it comes to dabbling in other genres. Robert Townsend. Thank you so much, Dark City Comics. I was gonna go crazy.
Mm,
But I don't have a fear when it comes to telling a story in any specific genre. I just love storytelling. So whatever that story calls for, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm not really sure if that is the research scientist in me, like wanting to ask a question. So, like, what is my thesis of this story? And, take my character on this journey and either answering it or getting more questions instead of answers. I just really love that. And I'm not afraid to learn and take critique. I feel like I have been able to be in this business as long as I have, which has not been that long. It's like 6 years now, but to not just be a flash in the pan, because, you know, when I am around folks who know what they're doing, or I see folks who have had success, even as yourself, like I pay attention to like what is being done and how I can apply that and internalize it and, you know, make it my own thing, and finding inspiration in that. So I am forever just like a sponge and just trying to get better and better every day. And also like impart that wisdom on other creatives as well. So hopefully, if I had a tough time at something, maybe they don't, because I learned something that I can let them know, or the path has been made a little bit easier to travel after I've come through. So I think those things.
That's fire. Um, since we're talking about penmanship, right? Are you a fan of hip hop?
Absolutely.
Okay. So if the comic game was the rap game, and we're
Mhm.
judging lyricism, lyrical rappers, who would you be as a
That is a
writer?
good question. Lupe Fiasco, probably.
Ooh, Lupe, my guy.
I
Lupe,
love
my
Lupe.
guy. The Cool, one of my favorite albums of all time.
Man, what a
I listen to the Cool all the
between
time.
yeah, between that and Food and Liquor, I go back and forth. But the Cool is just again like an example of just storytelling in hip hop in a way that I just appreciate, like in the same way that Slick Rick did it. And Lupe just did it so masterfully with the Cool, from start to
Mm.
finish.
So you the Lupe of of comics, huh?
Well, I
That's
didn't say all that. If I
that's
had
crazy.
to
That's
if
crazy.
I had to like pick somebody, I would want to I would like to aspire to be a Lupe Fiasco.
Lupe fire, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's a heavy joint. I don't know who I would be. I don't know who I would be. I think I'm like a. I mean, I'm like a ludicrous maybe.
I
Um,
would say Luda, or I would even I would even go Jay-Z. Just for the simple fact of the way that you've been able to maneuver and like what Concrete Comics is, and also providing opportunities for other creatives too. Jay has done that. So yeah, I would say Luda. I would even say somebody part of the TDE camp too.
mm,
I see, yeah.
those
But
and
Luda definitely disturbing the peace, yeah.
yeah. I, I guess why I was saying Luda because I feel like I'm
Uh-huh.
very versatile. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, for sure.
I can jump in mad rooms and just be. I can talk to whoever and just be fun, and I
Yeah,
can write whatever. But
you're right.
when it comes to that mindset, definitely hold for sure.
Yeah,
Because I'm
yeah,
always looking. I'm never looking that way. I'm always like,
yeah.
how do we keep going bigger and bigger and bigger, and staying humble at the same time. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
no, that's fire. Now I'm gonna ask a couple more creatives this question. Man, I like this question.
Okay.
Like, who
Yeah,
would
no,
you?
I like that one
Mhm.
too. Now I'm curious as to what other people are gonna say.
I think that'd be dope. You know what? If you were to name who's one of your favorite indie writers right now that's out there?
That is a really great question. And I just read their work too. Oh my God, not me blanking on the name. Harold Pete. I just read
Harold Peters Fire. He got that book
yeah,
called Thelma.
yes, that's what I just read.
Mhm.
So Harold, if you're watching this, I loved it. I haven't had a chance to tell you yet, but I loved it.
Shout out to the comments. The comments got a little crazy. I
They
didn't
got a
read
little
that one before I
crazy.
put it up.
I saw
Yeah,
a little slave there. I didn't know where
I
that was going, but
I didn't read that one before. Y'all gotta relax. Okay, what is going on in the chat? Sheesh. Um. Yeah. That just made me just forget what I was gonna say. Oh, so okay. So Harold Pete. Harold, Harold Pete. Who would he be as a rapper based off what you read?
ooh,
For
oh my
some reason,
God,
I keep
who's my
seeing.
man's? Who are you singing?
I'm seeing somebody in the cloth with like a Talib Kweli and a Common.
I was gonna, yeah, because I was thinking like Slum Village,
Mm.
um, like Q-Tip in them, like something. So like, yeah, somewhere up in there.
Exactly. I like that. I like that. I like that question.
Tribe Called Quest, yeah, like yeah.
I don't think no one's ever asked that question on the podcast, y'all. So I got to coin that, man. That's me right there. You know what I mean? So writer's block. How do you fix it? How do you
I
get through it?
well, a couple ways. So sometimes I power through just because deadlines are what they are, and they do not give a damn about writer's block. So I just power through, and especially if it's like a first draft, get that out the door, and let my editor do their job, which is to help me see this story in a way that I'm just not seeing, because maybe I'm just stuck in this forest and I'm just not seeing things. And then also sometimes I just walk away, shut the computer down, go do something I enjoy, spend time with my family, read, watch movies, just take a break and just kind of recharge, essentially. Because sometimes, or a lot of times for me, my writer's block stems from me not knowing what to do and being scared to do so. So maybe I do actually know, but I am either second guessing myself or not trusting my storytelling gut in that way.
Mhm.
So that's why I'll usually, take a step back and just give myself, a moment to just kind of think about things or think about something else, or pick up a book or a comic that I really love and just try to, pinpoint like what exactly in this is working, and how did the creative team get to this, and how can I think about my story in that way.
What is the pressure like from when you're doing your own project, you know,
Yeah.
and you're just overseeing it, but when you're working for someone else and you get writer's block, what does that pressure feel like?
That pressure, like I said, is you got to get this in because there's a deadline. And if you fail on your job, it causes a domino effect. And now things are backed up. So now the editor is not able to, get revisions back to you in time. The artist does not get the script in time, which then leaves less time for them to draw stuff, the colorist to do what they need to do, the letterer, all these things. So the pressure is definitely there. That's why I had to like really get past sometimes the writer's block and just charge through. And if it's ugly, it's ugly. It's okay. It's a first draft. That's what it's supposed to be.
No, that's a fact. I think that's a question that because a lot of independent writers, people got a lot of dreams of writing for other companies. We get
Yeah.
submissions a lot, but I think sometimes people don't understand that other side of it. Like writer block happen. Your idea might get rejected. You know,
Yeah.
things may happen. How do you as a creator swallow that pride and just be like, let me keep going? You know what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
something that a lot of people got to understand because we don't them people about business. They don't care about your feelings. They like, yo, I don't like that. Start over.
Yeah, and you
You
and
know?
you gotta kind of just take it on the chin and go
Mhm.
back to the drawing board. I have become a yes and type of writer, meaning that especially when I work with editors that are just really good about bringing out what it is that you're trying to do. So they're not trying to tell you how to tell your story. They are trying to either play to your strong suits or get you ask you questions that make you think about things a little bit differently than where you are. Because sometimes you could be just so in the weeds that you need somebody with a zoomed out perspective to kind of point out things that you're missing.
Mhm.
So yeah, like that's when like listen to your editors, or if you have peers and stuff that you reach out to look over your work and stuff, being open to collaboration, being open to critique, especially from those who, know what they're doing, like that is going to make or break you as somebody in this business. Because whether it's indie, self publishing, traditional publishing with bigger companies, are you good? Are you a joy, or not even necessarily a joy to work with, but somebody who is more than tolerable to work with. And are you on time? You get
Mm,
those, if you got at least two out of those three, like you will have some type of consistency, some type of success. But too few times, it's it's really easy to come up with ideas, but it is so much harder to actually execute those ideas into something that is actually worth a
yeah,
story to be told, and one that makes sense. And it's also really easy to kind of quarterback it from the sidelines and, think about what you could do or,
yeah,
wouldn't do with a story that's already written. But like, yeah, well, the work's already been done. Now you get to you're critiquing it from the sideline, but you're not really thinking of all that it took to actually get it to that point. Like even comics that are quote unquote bad still took some
they,
type of
they took
effort
some
to be
time.
made. Yeah.
They took some time, and it's I guess that's another little segue, but reviewing is good in the
Hmm.
in the in the scene, but it can be so damaging at the same time, right? Now,
Yeah.
for seasoned creators like yourself, like me, we get a review, a bad review, it's whatever. You know what I mean? Okay,
Yeah.
but somebody that's like fresh, brand new, coming out the gate, and a reviewer just rips them to shreds. They could be done. They could be
Yeah.
over with. And I think reviewers got to be a little conscious of like, if this is an amateur, it's an amateur. You don't got to do that.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You don't got to do that. You can pull them to the side. You can just choose not to review it. You can do whatever. But it's just like I hate that part of the game because I see it happen to so many people, and I try to be. That's why I started Concrete Approved. I want to be the opposite end of that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you dope,
Yeah.
let's talk about it. If you need help, I got my consultant classes. If you trying to get right, we can do that. But don't let them reviewers tear y'all dreams away from y'all, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, what did Prince say? Like you're either here to inspire or discourage, right? So like where are you at on that? No matter if you're a creator, a reviewer, a reader, whatever, like, those are one or two options. And it's perfectly fine to feel a way about someone's work, but also just keeping in mind and being respectful that, it took a lot of courage for this person to put this product out into the world. And be it, whether it's good or bad, the point is that they did it. And to me, like that in itself is a celebration. That is a win that you took something that was just a part of your imagination, and now you've made it viable enough for people to pick it up and read.
And that's fire, right? I love what you said.
Hmm.
Y'all made something, put it out there in the world. That right there is a win. You know how
Yeah,
hard it is to do that. You know how many people
it's
got
hard.
scripts. You know how many people got scripts, comics they sitting on that they just never let no one see. You know
Yeah,
how many rappers got songs they never let people hear. Most of the beats I sold were
hmm,
beats that I thought were trash. I was
yeah.
like, man, I ain't. That's it, man. I ain't even like. I played it by accident. Boy was like, yo, play that one back real quick. I was
It's
like, huh?
always a thing that you think is just
Mhm.
like whatever, and people are like, actually, no, that's fire. And I mean, that goes to show sometimes we are our own worst critic too.
We are, we are. But the people that put stuff out have pushed past that
Yeah,
because
yes.
I'm a critic. I rewrote Acolyte mad times before I dropped it. But
Hmm.
when I dropped it, and like you said, having a good team, a good editor, and stuff like that, you got the right people around you to be like, no, you're ready, go. That's
Yeah.
what you need, man. So I encourage everybody get an editor. You know what I mean? Somebody that you trust that is not looking to tell you their story through your story, but looking to enhance
Hmm.
your story through their skills, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Because a good editor, a bad editor can
A bad editor can make you wish that you never bothered to start writing. A
back you
bad
right on up.
editor, yes, can kill your dream and your passion too. So be mindful of that. And I think that also just takes a level of discernment and understanding what is critique and then what is something else. And sometimes that's hard to distinguish between. But like when you get a good editor, like it is it is undeniable.
No, it is. It feels like peanut butter and jelly. Like it's
Yeah,
like
it does.
it's perfect, right? Like it
Yeah.
feels like you have somebody that's like truly understands what you're trying to do. And
Hmm.
like it's nothing better. And when the artist links up too, like when the artist is like,
Oh,
yo, like an artist is rocking with it when they start throwing in ideas like, yo, I think we should maybe add a
yes.
coach here. So that's when you know that you in flow state right there. You know what I
That's my
mean?
favorite thing is like an artist reading a script and like coming back and saying like, wow, I love this. And it just shows in the artwork that you get back. And like you said,
Hmm.
like they love it so much that they want to like creatively collaborate and think about the story in ways that maybe you haven't. Like that's one of my favorite things. And like going back to your question, why comics? Because it is a I don't comics are a community. And the stronger the community, sometimes the better the comic. So that community again could just be the entire creative team, or expand out to your readers and your reviewers and stuff like that. So if you want to
Yeah.
be in community, comics is the way.
Comics is all about community, man. And shout out to the people that keep the community running, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
No cancers in the community, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Not allowed in here. So we do got a question for you in here.
All right.
When you're writing, do you see things visually almost like a movie, or are you more or less laying out groundwork for visuals focused on dialogue?
So that's changed. Originally, when I started writing, I think I was trying to shape the visuals around the dialogue. Quickly learned that you're in for a not good time when you do that. So I try to lay the groundwork. So I'll like panel everything first and then go back through and like put in dialogue. Because the other thing too is like you don't want to have so much dialogue that is covering up the art.
Right.
So if I can figure out like if I can try to visualize what the artist might draw versus what I've actually written and how much space is going to be within that panel that'll dictate my dialogue. And then sometimes you don't even need the dialogue because the art has done its job in effectively saying what needs to be said. So for me, it's visuals first and then dialogue later. Sometimes you have an idea of exactly what
Yeah.
you want to say, so you might put that down. But no, for me,
Yeah.
visuals first and dialogue.
It's fire that you say that because I kind of write the exact same way. Like I send my editor the outline first. Like I'll go like
Hmm.
page 1 through 3. This is what happened.
Yep.
Page 4 through 6. This is what happened. Blah 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 blah. And then I'll send the artist that too. So I kind of let him draw off the outline. And then
Uh
after
huh.
he starts sketching, when I look at the art, that's when the words come to me. So because like the
Yeah.
way he may draw somebody looking at a person, the tone is going to be different than how I would have originally
Exactly.
wrote it. So I write the tone when I see the pages, and
Yeah.
I've learned that marriages the dialogue and the art better than just writing out dialogue.
Oh, for sure. I think so like the comic process, at least for me, I feel like I see my story differently in each process. So I see like when I'm outlining, that's one way. When I start scripting, I'm seeing it a little bit different. Like maybe I'm a lot more zoomed in. When the artwork comes in, like completely locked in, and now I'm seeing the story as I envision it in my mind, and of course that I feel differently. And like what needs to be said also changes too, to your point. And then when it comes to like going through and doing like the lettering pass, so like before the script goes to the letterer, and like comparing what I actually have in the script and what's actually been drawn, and trying to figure out, like you said, like,
Hmm.
okay, well, originally I thought that the two characters would be facing each other, or maybe this facial expression is given something else, so this dialogue is not going to hit the way that I thought it would. So I just need to tweak it so that it does.
Yeah.
I say like as a comic writer, like you're never done writing your comic until it is like in someone's hand. Like it has been printed
Hmm.
and it is off. There's been a few times like either indie stuff or at the bigger publishers where I've had like, 2 or 3 rounds of lettering passes to just, get the dialogue correct and the sound effects and all that type stuff. So like you're never done writing a comic until it's been
Yeah,
printed.
and that's true. The only dialogue I do write is like it may be a page where I know somebody's about to drop some bars.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'll write that out like this person
Yeah.
going in with the bars. But everything else is flow state. I let the artist kind of paint his picture. I
Yeah.
love giving artists like freedom like that too. Like when I first started, I thought, I was writing, this person standing to the left, he's holding the door handle with his
Yeah.
right. I was writing every detail, and the artist was drawing that, but you could tell he wasn't
It kind of felt like
influenced.
constricted.
Exactly. So I
Yeah.
so I like to let them flow, and then I like the flow because that's similar how I make music. I don't I can't just write lyrics. The music
Yeah.
got to speak to me because then that what sets my tone. And I learned in writing comics is the same way. The tone,
Mm-hmm.
I'll know the tone, and if the artist captures it, then I'm right in there.
Yeah.
But there are instances where I had to change things. Even when I'm lettering somebody else's comic, sometimes I may see a tone different than they might have seen, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll let them know like, yo, I think you should give this person dialogue right here, or take this dialogue, move it here. It's
Yeah.
so many things that happen in a comic book that people don't see that determines how the story's going
Mm-hmm.
to flow, and that's
Yeah.
the
I mean, you got to be
that's the
open to
big
pivoting.
hmm
Yeah. And changes. And again, like, the whole kill your darlings thing is not just relegated to actually, writing off a character. It is, getting rid of a panel maybe because there's really no reason for it, or dialogue, or just a bunch of stuff, and just being open to change and whatever is going to make that story the best story that it can be.
Don't be afraid to cut stuff out, creators. All right, that's one
Yeah,
thing. Don't
don't.
be married to nothing. Don't be
No.
married to nothing because there's things that you need in the story, and then there's things that you want.
Mm-hmm.
The want don't match with the need. The want gotta go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care how cool his suit looks standing on that roof. You know what I mean? it
Yeah,
don't
like if
need.
you don't need that scene, you just gotta cut it.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? It can be used for promo, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is, right? So, I got another question for you.
Uh-huh.
Black women in nerd spaces, the good and the bad. What's that been like?
um
You
I'll
know,
start with the good first because that's the shortest. So
Sheesh.
that is finding other Black women nerds to be in community with, and just geeking out with them over stuff. It's just always so funny to me. I know this because I just know that Black women nerds come in all shapes, sizes, and shades or whatever. But it's always funny to me when someone else realizes that, oh, this Black woman is into anime or is into comics. Just like, well, yeah, like you can't judge a book by its cover. The bad I've turned into good. So that has been like, it's always somebody that's going to test you on your knowledge on something. And for me, because that a research aspect, I just love reading a lot, so I often know stuff that maybe people don't think that I know. The constant having to prove yourself, and
Mhm.
also just this constant like, well, what is your worth? And I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of the ego measuring and all of these things because, like, there's space for everybody. They're telling you a lie, telling you that there isn't a lot of space. Like I hate that. Um, and then unfortunately sometimes the crabs in the barrel mentality, I even hate saying that, but unfortunately like that does exist. But again, it could go on and on and on about the negatives, but you learn, I don't know, like you learn what you're going to deal with. Other stuff you learn to just kind of
Yeah,
dismiss and let it be what it is, because some people are just going to be jackasses and that's their business and not yours.
no, that's for sure. And it sucks that it happens. You know what I'm saying? And it
Yeah.
happens more than people know, especially in the con circuit. I'll ask you this though: over the years of you conventioning,
Yeah.
how much has it grown? Like, how much has the space gotten better, more inclusive, felt more like there's a community here, especially for you
Yeah.
know.
I would say that that is improving. There could still be some changes here and there. There have been times where I haven't necessarily, I don't want to say I'm like the only black woman there, but in the pro space, because at conventions they like to divvy up sections, and it ends up being like what they consider comic pro and then indie space. But to me, like everybody's making comics, so everybody should just be mixed in.
Hmm.
Whatever, I think that would be good for both indie and pros. But that's why maybe I should be doing a convention one day, like putting one. But it's improved. Like I do my due diligence to walk around and see who's there and introduce myself, support, pick up folks' comics and stuff like that. Because also you never know. Like you just why you should not judge a book by its cover. Like you just never know who you might meet, and why it's not good to try to big time anybody because so and so whose cousin is here selling stickers and prints. I don't know, like their cousin might be, they might have an in at Paramount or something like that, or know an editor somewhere. And I'm not saying that you should be talking to people in hopes that it's going to result in something bigger, but my point is to treat everybody with a level of respect and kindness, because you just don't know.
That's just a
But
fact.
I've seen more black women in the space, so that's always gonna make me happy.
It's funny. I remember every face of the people that tried to big time me when I was like just starting. I
I
knew every
have
one
a
of them.
little list. Yeah.
And now, unbeknownst to them, some of them be up in them DMs, like trying to get an
Hmm.
opportunity, and I'm sitting like Thanos, like,
I'm a
but
Gemini, so I'm making note. I might not say nothing at the time, but I am making a note so that when I go on my world tour to blast you when you wrong me, I
oh
have
yeah,
a long list of instances. So
a
I
few
get it.
people, a few people stunning on young Lonzo, man, just trying to get information on the game, and
Yeah.
but I needed that, so
Yeah. You
it
know
worked.
what? Yes.
It worked out in his favor because it made me be like, oh, okay, say less,
Yeah.
say less. Um, we do got some comments in here, and shout out to everybody on the stream. Hey, if you are on the YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. We gonna be
Yes.
doing a concrete approved every week. I'm on a mission right now to just spread this love right here. So let's see who we got here, man. We got Cap Live said, very informative stream. I want to get into writing comics, and y'all dropping gems make me want to take a leap and start. Hey, brother,
Yeah. Go ahead and do that.
do that. I am a living testament of that.
Yes.
I just said, why not? And I
Yes.
jumped in it, and but I think I jumped in it the right way. I wasn't like, I was a student. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I jumped in as a student, as a young Padawan. I learned the ways of the Jedi, and now I got a whole fleet of Padawan, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm just I'm keeping the Jedi Nation going. But the community, the Black indie community, is very loving. We're like
Yes.
cousins. We all like cousins, especially at the cons. We see each other, show love,
I mean,
share
they assume we cousins anyway, so might as well play into that.
as well. And it's we're still outnumbered heavily in the cons. So
Hmm.
when we see each other, it's always love, man. But that's definitely dope, Cap. Definitely get up out there. We got, man. My man Meech said, hit that like button, smash that for sure.
Go ahead.
Love Stephanie's work, as you should, Mr. Bronson.
Thank you, Mr. Bronson. Hopefully, we can work it together soon on something. Appreciate that.
That's dope. It's a working process, like artists. Oh yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Shout out to the comments, man. They going in, ain't they? People like Stephanie make the space much more inviting when you're just starting, and that's for damn sure.
Yeah, because I want y'all to stay around.
No King Saturday. Okay, not
All
sure what's
right.
going on. I love seeing this,
Three
man.
sisters back
This
to
is
back.
back to back, and you know that, man. This is ain't no men get on the platform this month, and they might not get on next month either. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? We say drop more live shows weekly, perhaps. Slow down now. Yeah, I mean, I got a job. I got
Yeah.
a family. You know, I got to write these books. Slow down a little bit. But if y'all want to see more, definitely join the Patreon. Please join the Patreon, man. I'm kind of. I want to ask you about that real quick, right?
Mhm.
The algorithm. How do you feel about it?
At this point, I've made peace and like I post and I go and I say, I hope this reaches who it needs to reach. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But like it got to a point where I was like, I cannot function on social media the way that the algorithm is dictating and still create the way that I want to. Because, social media, you are open to so many voices, opinions, thoughts, and all of that, which sometimes is great, and other times is not. And for me to be the type of creator that I want to be, like I need to be able to hear my own voice. So to cut out that extra noise. So I stop trying to figure the algorithm out and I just post and I go and I just hope that, it does what it needs to. But I think funny enough, that has been working. Like I'm almost close to 10K, which I didn't think would happen on Instagram. So that's just been all organic, just posting and going
Yeah,
to conventions, being on podcasts, doing lives like this, and just trying to, organically just grow the audience.
yeah, yeah. The algorithm has what they say. I was watching something. It said, 2020 was the algorithm wanted to see what people were doing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what were you doing? The algorithm now is no longer about what you're doing. It's about what I'm trying to become. So
Yep.
people are looking for information now. They wanna become something. They want to be streamers. They wanna
Yeah.
write comics. They want to do things. So for those of you that are about to get into the game or already in the game and looking to reinvent yourself because the algorithm is beating y'all ass, um, think about what are some of the problems out here and create those solutions, man. That's really what it
Yeah,
is.
that's true. Tutorials, a quick Q&A that always works if you don't have a newsletter. Even that helps because you can funnel people to, check that out and have something where a creative tip a week or something like that. I am saying all things that I'm supposed to be doing in this newsletter that I have not written the entry in since last year. So
Mhm.
do better than me and take my advice.
We got a question for you. Is there a comic book series from back in the day that you wish you could have been a part of?
Ooh, um, that is a really good one. Okay, this is very random, but Martha Washington. I don't know if anybody remembers
Martha
that. I think
Washington.
that was out of Image Comics. I don't know, it wasn't Grant Morrison that wrote that. I think it was wow. Why am I Frank Miller? I feel like that was a Frank Miller comic, but again, that was something that I read like much later in life. And I remember reading it, and there were things I was like, "Oof, it really could have benefited from having a black woman a part of this." But there were also other things that were a part of that comic series that I did appreciate. So, I think it would probably be Martha Washington.
What do you say? She's from Chicago. All right.
Hmm.
And now I gotta go find it. See, that's dope. That's dope. See, I love educating the stream because I just learned something from that. I'm not the
It's
biggest.
crazy.
I know I'm one of them comic readers that read exactly what I was trying to read. I didn't
Yeah,
stray too far, like outside of the heroes I like, until I got older and I
yeah,
started trying different things. But yeah, back then I was like, just that
yeah. I
right there.
mean,
That
hey,
was it.
same. And then I just kind of same way like when I'm reading novels and stuff like that, sometimes I'll just branch off or I'll see something and I like the cover and I'm like, well, let me go ahead and check it out. I see a new
Another
question.
got another question for you.
All right. So when getting licensed work with DC, Marvel, IDW, do you get to pitch which characters you want to write, or does the company give you options and assign? So it depends. A lot of times it is them reaching out and saying, "Hey, would you be interested in pitching something for either this IP, this character, or like this event?" Very rarely do you actually get a chance to you're asked to pitch a character that you want to write. But I've been learning that closed mouths don't get fed, and that's not always the case. Like, it doesn't hurt you to be vocal about who you would like to write and what you would like to do. In fact, like, I probably wouldn't have gotten Street Sharks if that wasn't the case. Like, editors know, just different stuff that I'm interested in, and like that open doors. So it's always good to let the people that know that you're working with like your other interests. Sometimes that will bring you the things that you actually want to do. But quite recently, I just started either cold pitching editors or, I'm in a meeting for something else and saying, hey, by the way, if an opportunity comes, I do have a pitch for so and so. In fact, I just did something for Legendary Comics, working on the Monarch Legacy of Monsters tie-in comic anthology. And when I met with that editor for that, did it and everything. And then I also mentioned the other stuff that I like that Legendary produces. And lo and
Mhm.
behold, after turning that script in like a month or two later, I got an email saying, hey, didn't you say you was interested in this? And I said, I sure was. And now I got to, you know, pitch something and write for something that, I really loved and I guess would be kind of like a cold pitch scenario, but now it's not cold anymore. It's like, what do you want to do?
It ain't cold no
It's a
more.
lot of ways to kind of
Yeah.
like, I get like we're making art and there is kind of like this, like you said, flow state to it. And oftentimes that is great and wonderful. And it's something I like to ascribe to, but you also got to be like very business minded in some
Hmm.
aspects. And that is like for yourself, whether it's marketing yourself, your book, strategically picking what conventions you go to and the reasons why you go to them. Is it to, expand your audience, maybe get access to publishers at other, places, editors and stuff like that. When you are at these bigger places, again, like letting editors know what else you're interested in outside of what you're working on and just kind of getting to know them as people and them getting to know you. um like comics is not unique in its bullshit at all. And if you worked in another industry, be it retail, medical field or just whatever, you will see like the similarities and the game, the way that you have to play the game in that is the same way you got to play the game here. The players are just different. So just being, just cognizant and not just happy to be here, but making sure that you are looking out for yourself and your best interests and, making sure that you pay your bills.
Gotta pay them bills.
Yeah.
You dropped some fire gems for a lot of up and coming writers and creators, and even seasoned writers as well. Because that's a world that a lot of people dream of to be in, to be able to get
Yeah.
called to write a character, no matter what it is. And to me, you saying that, to me, that's very intimidating because it's easy to write for what you want to write for, but
Mm-hmm.
you get a call for like if somebody be like, "Yo, I need you to write," I'm saying, "I need you to write Plastic Man or something." I'd be like, "I don't."
I would, and that's funny. I would, I would be like more than ready for that. But you're right. It is scary because, like My Little Pony, for instance, that wasn't an IP that I was familiar with outside of, what was on TV. So I think it was like Friendship is Magic.
Hmm.
And my kid was watching it. But I didn't know anything else about the ponies, and I especially didn't know about the new generation of ponies. But I knew that, well, one, I'm not going to pass up writing My Little Pony. That's insane. And then two, because it was with IDW, I knew if I showed up and did the best job that I could do, then hopefully that would encourage them to circle back to me for something else. And something else did happen. Star Trek, Street Sharks, and some other stuff that I'm working on with them currently.
Star
But that's
Trek? I knew
because,
you to say Star Trek.
yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, Star Trek. And I love Star Trek. Like that's the thing
Mm.
that I'm really passionate about. And I grew to love the ponies, but because I didn't shy away and I didn't say, "Oh, that's not my vibe, that's not my speed."
Yeah.
I'm a writer for hire. So a part of that to me is like being a mercenary and figuring out what the job needs and getting a job done.
And that's dope that you say that because it's like sometimes you got to do things to open up the doors. Now, when I say do things, don't get
No,
crazy,
not
guys. Don't get
crazy.
crazy,
Yes.
right? We're talking about like some opportunities are testers. They're just testers. They want to
Yes.
see like, yeah, if I get rid of this, she gonna knock it out the park, regardless
Hmm.
if she want to do it or not. Does she? This comic need to be written, and we want her to do it. And now she put her heart and soul into it. She was timely. She's professional. She's pleasant to work with. Now, when they got other opportunities, you gonna be on the list to be
I'm
like,
telling you,
what do we throw it to that?
like,
You know what I mean?
I cannot stress that enough. And just is just speaking from experience, like that is why I've been able to work so consistently because of that. It has been, showing up even or like, somebody drops out last minute for a thing. And because I can be, fairly quick, editor knowing that because they work with me on another thing and I was really quick about that, that I can come in and pitch it for somebody. Sometimes it's doing that, and again, it's not like morally going against anything that you believe in, but like any job, sometimes you're going to get a task that you are not crazy about, and that's okay because maybe it's a test, and once you get through it, you can go on and do the thing that you really love and you want to do.
No, that's fire. I mean, I said the rubber band man will be fire. Hey, listen, I don't know. I don't know. I could probably do it for sure, but it would just like the mental of it, of getting something that you weren't like asking for.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's like you ordering like mac and cheese and somebody bring you like cabbage or something. You like, oh, I like them both.
yeah.
Like
That
they
would be
both
tough. I
good.
probably failed it.
That's what I'm saying. Like the cabbage might be good too, but
The
you
cabbage might
you
be, and that's
you
the thing.
wanted
You're right.
you wanted that mac and cheese though. But they was
Yeah,
like, no, not yet, not yet. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
We're gonna put it on the plate a little later, but I need you to eat that first. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Somebody, my man Paige Alfred said, hey, I got to ask the question. How important is the pacing in your comic book? I said, that's
Man,
everything. That's
that's
everything.
everything. That is why I outline the way that I do, or I've grown to outline the way that I do. So now my outline process is literally telling damn near a short story in the outline. So if it's a one shot, there you have it. If it is a series, then I'm essentially writing a short story for each of those issues. One, because if I'm of course working with editors, like I want them to see the broad strokes. And then because I've put everything out, like I can get more granular and pay attention. Cause that's the other thing about comics that I love, the challenge of trying to fit a story into a limited amount of space and to do so in a way that still tells a story. Like that's not easy. Like page economy in comics is something that's really important. You're always solving for X, thinking of like the page turns. That's another reason why pacing is something that I'm always thinking of. And I don't mean page turn as in like on your odd page, that last panel. I'm talking about page turn where you're on the even side of the page and you're looking at that last panel. Like, what is that last action that makes the reader want to go to panel one on the next page? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what does that look like? Are you changing locations all willy nilly? Like, that's going to be confusing for your reader.
Oh yeah.
So, pacing is just, ooh, it's so important.
It's crazy. I learned pacing from watching film. I was watching Gotham, that
Yes.
TV show, right? I was watching
Mm-hmm.
Gotham, the TV show back during the COVID times, a little bit before COVID times, and I noticed I was like, yo, they be in like three locations. That's it, the whole season.
Yeah. The whole,
But the
yeah.
way they write it, because if they're in Penguin's house, they're in his house, but they might be in
Mm-hmm.
his dining room, or they may be in the hallway, or they may be here. So out of that one location, they made a whole season out of it. And that's when I started learning. Like when I'm writing my comics, I was like, man, yeah, I'm in this spaceship the whole comic,
The whole
but there's
time. Yeah.
so much in this spaceship that I could show you, and
Yeah.
just spacing out and world building and things like that. So like I love what you're saying about that, and pacing turn pages. I write for the turn pages. That's what I write for.
Yes.
I want you to be reading this to those pages, and you like, let me see, and you like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what I want. I yearn for that. So I definitely feel you on that. Somebody said, you know what? hold on. There's a lot of questions. Okay, I got some
I
questions too,
see.
guys. All right, I got some questions. I'm trying to wrap this up, but this is getting too good. Um, I got a I got a question for you.
All right.
So what legacy do you want to leave when it's all said and done? When you decide to ascend to the universe,
Hmm.
what do you want people to remember?
I want them to, I want my work to be remembered as something that inspired them to do whatever. So, whether it is to make comics themselves, is it to go back to school, to have that difficult conversation that they were putting off with a family member or a friend, like
Hmm.
the type of, novels, comics, movies, and things like that I love are the ones that inspired me and made me feel like I could do the thing that I was scared to do. So I would love for my legacy to be literally a thing of, as you climb, you must lift. And I hope that the work that I put out makes people feel emboldened to go after their dreams. Not to, simplify it and say that if I can do it, you can do it, but it's true. Storytelling is not for the few, it is for the many, especially for Black folks. Just the way that we pass on stories, be it like, the family gossip, or
Hmm.
just when you're in church and just the way that the pastor is going through a sermon, or you got that one uncle who is telling you the same story every single time, but it always changes. Like, I just feel like us as a culture, storytelling is something that is just so integral and something that we're very, very good at. So I just hope that the legacy I leave behind inspires others to go out and do what it is that they dream to do.
That's incredible. I mean, I love that. I love that. Somebody got to write that out, man. I'm saying I got to transcript that, and I'm gonna send it to you. You know what I mean?
I
That
appreciate
whole
that.
little thing, right there. Got to throw that right into an article. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna close out with your special updates, but before we do that, we made it to my favorite part of the show, which
Yes.
is
All right.
called Top Three. Now,
Ooh, all
top
right. I'm
three.
ready.
I'm gonna ask you three questions,
All right.
and you got to answer them. You know, to the best of your ability
Okay.
and truthfully. And y'all in the comment section, y'all drop y'all answers in the comments too. So, are you ready for number one? Question number one.
I am.
Top three black fathers in TV and film.
Damn. All right. So of course, Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil.
Rest in peace to Uncle
Uh.
Phil.
Yes.
You're the only father that I ever knew.
Yes. Oh my God. The dad from Craig of the Creek, because my
Mm,
son's been watching that show, and I just think the family is the cutest. um, and a third dad. Oh my gosh.
let's do it. Let's
That's
do
hard.
it.
Oh, from 101, Flex Alexander. I just
Flex.
always loved that relationship. Yeah, so from 101, with Kyla Pratt, and I think the guy's name actually is Flex Alexander.
Oh yeah,
But I just really love
Flex
their
is his actual
relationship.
name. Flex is
Yeah.
a good one. I never heard Flex before be
Yeah.
mentioned, man. I'm surprised when you say, Carl Winslow or something, or
Hell
you know
no.
what I mean?
Carl used to be
No,
tripping.
Carl was definitely siding with everybody outside the house and
He was.
chastising his own damn kids, right? You know what I mean? Shout
And
out to
definitely
him.
not
Who
Moesha's daddy. So, mm-mm.
who we got? Who we got? Dad from
Oh,
Lincoln
yes, the
Heights.
dad from Lincoln Heights for sure.
Okay,
Yes.
talk to me nice. Uncle Phil, Mr. Hawkins, granddad from Boondocks. You know who was an honorable mention? He not like the real daddy, but I think the boy Hopper. Hopper from Stranger Things, man.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hopper was riding out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Great, yeah, yeah. No, Hop. Shout out to Hop. All right, second question. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, yeah.
And I need to hear answers that I don't want to hear no generic everybody's answers.
Okay.
I
Yeah, yeah.
need
I
to
got you. I
hear
got you.
something that's gonna be like, oh, that's a fire one. Top three MCU moments.
Okay, so definitely when Black Panther first shows up and like gives Bucky the hands, that will
Mm,
always be one of my favorites. Um, Actually, the first time that Iron Man suited up, I thought that was really dope. And from Spider-Man 2, just that scene between Peter and Doc Ock, because you got these two characters, same size of, I mean, different sides of the same coin. That's why I've
Hmm.
always appreciated Doc Ock and Spider-Man. So that's in that final battle. But those would be my three. Now, very unserious top three, and I guess that didn't count for MCU, but whatever. There's only so many of those I've seen. But outside of that, I gotta go OG Fantastic Four, not the '94 one, but the one that Jessica Alba and all them are in.
Hmm.
And it's when Sue Storm, I think it's number two, the second movie, and Sue and Reed are getting married, and a helicopter comes, and Sue is serving face, and because Kerry Washington is playing a character who is supposed to be blind,
Blonde. Oh yeah.
she is also serving face, even though she's getting ready to die, because she can't see that she's getting ready to die. So that is a favorite
Oh,
moment that is not a serious moment.
no, that's hilarious. That's definitely hilarious. If it has, if it was fire. Fun fact for those that don't know, did y'all know Lawrence Fishburne was the voice of Silver Surfer?
No, I did not know that. And I watched that movie more times than I care to admit.
Yeah.
I'm probably
Lawrence
gonna run it back
Fishburne.
just because of that. Yeah.
He was the voice in it. I didn't know it until I saw the fact, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
But
I
then,
nah.
when I remember his voice, I said, "Okay,
No, like that's
that's
some point.
fire.
Yeah.
That's fire." Okay, so the last one right here. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
might be a little tough. Might be a little tough.
Okay.
Top three songs that represent you.
Ooh, man, this is probably gonna be pretty current. But Rochelle Jordan's Broken Steel, love that song. I mean, yeah, love that song. Number two would be Doechii Alter Ego. Love that song, especially the Precious remix. And number three would probably be Don Richards in Flying Lotus, and the song is called Let Me Cook.
Mm,
So those are
you
my
know what?
top three right now that I would say would describe me.
A lot of those songs made me feel like I'm completely out of touch. You know that?
Yes.
You know what I'm
See,
saying? I'm just completely gone. I said, "Damn, man, I'm an OG now, huh?" I don't know none of them joints.
I listen to a lot of DJ mixes, and because of that, I love some house music. But because of that, like that is how I'm listening and hearing new stuff. And I'm like, oh, that was kind of fire. Let me go find this artist.
Some of the honorable mentions we got in the chat. John Witherspoon from Friday, just
Oh,
like
for
my
sure.
dad.
He
John was
would
a
be
good
on my
pops
nerves, but
for
yes.
sure. He said, "Put the gun down, Craig. Put it down." Well, we got
Fred
Fred
G.
Sam.
Stanford, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fire. MCU moments. What we got? Black Panther meets Killmonger. Fire. Bucky
Mm-hmm.
Faithful and Worthy Cat. I got you.
Yeah.
Luke Cage meeting Method Man. That was a
Yeah.
sweet spot for me, for sure. Um, yeah, no, that's fire. What it say? Oh, T'Challa and Killmonger on the cliff. Final
Oh
moments.
yeah, a little Lion King moment. Yes.
Bury me with the ancestors. So no, that's fire. So let's close out with your special updates, man. Things that you got going on, things that you can only reveal here on Concrete Approved. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the only
All
place that
right.
the news is gonna come out. You know.
Oh right. So this weekend on Saturday, I'm going to be at Read Freely Fest in Columbia, South Carolina. That's put on by the Richmond Library. And then like a few days after that, I'm flying up to Chicago. Very excited about that because I get to go home for a quick visit. But I will be at Blurred's Underground on April 1st from 12 to 3 signing. So come on out to LaGrange, come on out to the West Side. If anybody wants to bring me a Vice Lord burger, I would definitely appreciate
That's
that. It's
fire.
basically Euro meat on a hamburger bun, but and it's got some other stuff. But that, and then later that day, Anthony Fowler Jr. and I are doing something at the Harold Washington Center. It's a library event put on by Chicago Public Libraries, and we're talking about Star Trek. We're talking about the Lieutenant Uhura one shot that just came out last month. So all of that's on April 1st. So if you're in the Chi-Town area, please come on out. And Pay attention to DC solicits next month. There's some news coming out, not for what you think, but that'll come later. And Roots of Madness issue 6 comes out next month, as well as the Street Sharks annual. I saved the Negro for last, and that is Moby Lick, the only black character on that show to get turned into a killer whale or whatever. So that whole issue is centered on him and just how dope he is, and that'll also be out in April.
That is fire, y'all. Those updates are definitely hmm, so much going on. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do
I don't
everything.
know how I do it either. You know what? I have a really amazing support system. My husband is extremely supportive, and like I try not to travel that much because I don't want to get fussed at by my son. But I know the house is being held down, and I really appreciate that. I also love that when I come home, the place has been cleaned. So I get to come
Mm.
home to a brand new spanking clean house, clean sheets on the bed, all that. So shout out to him for just providing a space where I can get things done, because he's a creative himself, so he understands.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Shout out to everybody that was locked in with us too, man. It was a
thank
great crowd
y'all.
tonight. You know what I'm saying? It was a great crowd tonight. Very
Yeah.
very dope. Minus the one or two
Mine is the one that I'm very
ridiculous.
curious as to what that comment was, but all right.
Uh,
Slave play, I think it was. I don't know.
I
I have
think
not seen that.
yeah,
So
it was out of
I don't know.
pocket.
It
Shout out
was.
to YouTube. It came from YouTube, so you never know what
Oh,
type
you
of, what
is
type what type of
always out of
entities
pocket.
are out there.
So
You know, it's some entities on that platform. You know what I'm saying? That
yes.
that are just born for violence. Um, message message to your fans and supporters.
I just want to say thank you so much to every single one of you. Like, I am around and able to continuously do this at the rate that I'm doing it because you guys have been so supportive. Like, the fact that Roots of Madness issue 5 pre-orders were up like by 10%, like that's something that doesn't happen for a comic series that's been out for a little while. So just shout out to y'all for rocking with me. When I see you at conventions coming up and like bringing me your stack of books and being apologetic. Do not ever apologize for bringing me books that you want me to sign. Like, if the fact that you've been rocking with me that long, that you brought a stack, like I'm smiling that with a smile on my face, hand cramp or not. Like, I do not care. So I just really appreciate y'all and the love and support. And yes, please go out there, do the things that you want to do. I would love to be able to support you on the side once you go out there and start telling your own stories. So like, let's get it.
No, that's fire. That's dope. And I just want to say thank you for coming on the show. This was an
Yeah, I
amazing
appreciate you, Lonzo.
episode. The gems dropped, the knowledge, the history behind who you are,
Yeah.
why you are, um, the lessons of the industry. I think that's a dope panel title right there.
It is. We're
Lessons.
gonna have to run
I
this
ain't gonna
back.
hold you. I might gotta run that joke back. Hold up.
If you're doing Fan Expo Chicago, maybe we should try to, do something there or at one of these conventions. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see you soon, but
You're
either
gonna give
on
me
the
a reason to
live or
fly
something
out.
like that.
You're gonna give
Yeah.
me a reason to fly out. I actually want
Yeah.
to get into paneling. I realize that's the one
You
area
should.
I haven't really dove into like that, but I definitely want to
Yeah.
host some panels. So I think I'm gonna start applying to just do panels and just pull up. You know
Please
what I mean?
do.
Because I think these conversations got to be had. People got to hear, especially from us. They got to hear.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. As real as it can be and just letting y'all know like what it is, what it's not, and what you can do. Don't let these people make you feel like this is like some gated community or something like that. It's comics. It's not the National Treasury. Like, you're good. Come through. do do what you need to do. Do not let these people discourage you. Like I said, storytelling is for the many, not the few. So whatever it is that we can do to help encourage and just put you up on game so that you don't have to deal with, hopefully, things that are unsavory. Like, we can't prevent everything, but if anything, we could just help you, try to figure out how to like mitigate that and how to handle it.
Yeah, because there's so many conversations that we could be having about
Yeah.
just every genre, from writing to promoting to just
Hmm.
existing in the industry. So much, man. So we definitely gonna have to chat about doing some things for sure.
Yeah,
But
please.
no, thank you for being on the show and just spreading your light and your love to the community and to the industry. And you are officially concrete approved.
I'm gonna have to get this on a jean jacket airbrushed on the back. I'm gonna have to do that
Concrete
at
approved.
this
You know what?
point.
I'm gonna get some shirts made. I do got a design. I do got a design.
Okay, then
Working
let me
on.
know, and I would be more than happy to rock that at a convention.
No, that's fire. So y'all know the vibes, man. This is Concrete Approved. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on the YouTube. As you see, we starting to kick up and ramp up and do a lot more shows. This is my way of giving back, man. Bringing out the
Yeah.
dopest, talking about the dopest things and topics, and just giving you guys the gems and the education that you are fiending for that you ain't getting from the streets. So
Yeah.
y'all know what it is. Steph, hang on just a minute while I close out, and then
All right.
it is what it is. Keep it
All right. Bye,
concrete,
y'all.
y'all. Y'all know the vibes.